Good morning, everybody. It's Marty, the JavaScript party. I noticed in my last video there was like a buzz that I don't think has been there before, but I had really enjoyed not using the headphones and all that, and I think it's louder without the headphones. I don't know exactly what's going on, but I know the headphones are a little bit different because there's more stuff for me to screw up, right? Like if I don't have this microphone placed exactly in the right place and all that, then it's very quiet, and I don't know. It's complicated. Trying to make decent content is very, very difficult. And then at the same time, making decent content that is sort of true to life. I really want the coder development experience to be true to life. Now, I feel like it's very polished and just absolutely misleading. And it would be soul crushing, I think, as a young developer to come up and see people just magically doing things and it all just works for them the first time. So this is rough on purpose. Um, and yeah, that's where we're at. So anyways, so it looks like the last thing I did a git log was I got the everything associated. If I remember correctly, yeah, it's starting to come together for me now. Um, we got it to where there had been like nulls in this list. And we got rid of the null. We found the one place where we were calling it. And we have a couple issues that have have shown themselves. And one is that with the exception of this guy, this viz component, all the rest of them really should not have um, references to complex objects. Now so there's this one exception in that this viz component is by its nature has reference to complex things and it's sort of outside of our control, not really our lane. Um, but then we do have others that are different. We have like if I remember correctly, this geometry has, nope, maybe it's the material has this reference to this three object, right? So even after we've deleted this thing, the three object still exists. So we need to make this not a reference to the three object, and B, um, so that's one thing. The other thing is it's hard to tell what something is. Like we got lucky for some reason they show these first, so we know that this is like a renderer ID, but we don't know what it is, so we need to add a type. Um, then once that's done, um, once two things are done, then it'll be nice. Well, another thing that we really need to do, and this will be very simple, so maybe I'll just knock it out right now, is right now we do this drawing only when you create things, but it would be probably very useful to have this text also when you delete so that we can be like, oh, okay, we just deleted everything. It should all be gone. And really, we don't want to duplicate that. So we really want to pull whatever is doing this console log out. We don't want to have like duplicate things with that responsibility. So that'll be the first thing I do. So I'm pretty sure that's done in our services, and I'm pretty sure it's done in our general and recyclable sequence. Close others. And this is it. This is the thing. So we're going to say write or draw log sequence dictionary. And that will accept nothing and return nothing. Return Boolean. If for some reason, maybe there'll be a time where we're like, no, we're not always going to draw it. And drew it cause let drew equals false or true, and we're going to return it. This just makes life a lot easier. True. For you when we hit the unit test phase, which by the way, this is a Jasmine Carmen unit tests, and it looks like Angular has switched over to byte, And so I had my first experience with Vite in the previous video. So um, it's not quite as mature. So it seems like it doesn't work quite as well as Karma Jasmine, but maybe I just haven't had a lot of experience with it. But anyway, so now we're using Vite, it looks like. But this is Karma Jasmine. So if you're like, it's like today is December 14th, 2025. I'd imagine if we were in December 14th, 2026, and you're starting on Angular and you created a new project, you'd be very confused because Carmen Jasmine will probably be like ancient history in a year. And that's the thing is anything you're working on right now at this moment could be ancient history in a year. And that's a reality that we live with. So basically we just want to move this to here. And I feel like this is such a small change that start. Like, I don't think we really need to make a commit for this, but we do want to test it just to make sure. And let's see. Boom. And yeah, so it's still working. It's so interesting though, because we have 9 is null. So we changed that and now, and it did print out, wait, 8 was null. And see now 8, once you open it, oh, now I'm looking up this. See, 9 was null, but once we open it, it's actually there. So this is inconsistent, right? We have in here it says 9 is null, but then you open it and it's there, and that's a timing issue. Um, so it's nothing broken, but you just have to be aware that what you're looking at isn't necessarily what it was when the time it got console logged, and it's not necessarily what it is now. So up here, we're seeing what it was when the console log happened, right? So when the console log happened, it was null. Because if we look in here, we see it's null. But when we opened it up, it's what it is right now. And this is what it is right now. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to go to the log sequence dictionary. I want to go to wherever delete happens, right? So we do a delete. It looks like delete happens in the component um, in the layout. So let's app layouts, and it looks like we do it in the update. No, in the tabular layout, right? So this is where you delete right here. So this is our tabular layout. So if we come in here, we can find our button, and it's called delete renderer item. So right here is where we delete it, and it would be kind of nice. Okay, so the UI service, it calls this UI service delete render. Now, I don't think this guy has access to the sequence, and I really would rather it not. Um, yeah, we do not have the sequence generator in this one. So let's go to delete renderer. It probably does, in fact, have access to the sequence generator. Deleted st-renderer service. So does it actually, maybe it doesn't even, yeah, so this guy doesn't have access to it either. So it looks like over here where we delete the renderer. So this is UI service. I'm a little worried that UI service is like really shouldn't have ever been built, but maybe not. So I feel like this is where we should do that. So we have to pull that service in, which is called the sequence generator service. Recyclable sequence generator service. And I guess I don't need to copy and paste that. So this is the name of the service that we want to use in here. We want to have access. This is a singleton service that every single, like anything that uses it will share the exact same one, which is really nice. tabular UI. It was in the UI service. So I guess UI service is sort of like where a whole bunch of things had to be composed. Okay, we're going to do this, that, this, and that. And I guess that's where, because we don't really want the renderer service um, trying to delete like scenes. Um, so I guess UI service is kind of where that happens. So anyways, it's recyclable service colon recyclable service, and we generally will make this a little r. It's just like not required, but it's the standard way to do things. Inject this, and hopefully we get a little blue arrow when we do this. Yep, got the blue, and that's saying, hey, do you want me to bring it in from here? Yep. So this is our recyclable service that we are exposing now to our UI service. Like I said, I think the purpose of the UI service, I probably should comment. Okay, so the purpose of this service. Purpose of this service is to compose commands across entities, I think. And I would never type that I think into, like, if you're at a job or something. But for me, it's pretty useful. It's a shame because, like, you really, if you want to be an effective developer, you really have to be humble. You have to admit that you don't know everything. You have to be willing to admit you're wrong, almost on an hourly basis. And but the thing is the people that hire you and that are paying you, they don't want you to even ever admit to them that you don't know what's going on. They want full confidence from you. And if you get fully confident the way they want you to be, you're probably going to ruin everything. And if you don't have full confidence, you stay humble, but you don't. But then you don't. Uh, then you show everybody that you feel humble about it. Then that scares the crap out of everybody because they're like, "We're paying this guy all this money, and he doesn't know everything." So it's a tough situation. So this dot recyclable sequence dot log. So once we're done um, deleting, deleted everything, deleted. This is renderer. So we are a UI service, so it makes sense for delete renderer. I think it makes sense for then this piece, this higher up level service to understand, okay, once we delete a renderer, before we delete the renderer, we need to tell everybody else that that renderer is using to delete themselves or to determine if they need to delete themselves. Because like the mesh system should understand whether that mesh can be deleted or not. I think. I don't know. I don't know if maybe. See, the thing is we want to be able to reuse things, and so when they get deleted, they need to make sure that they are um, that it's a. See, I guess what we need to do is when we're reusing it, we'll have a pointer to it. We'll have a reference to it, and then when we delete its reference, if it's not being used by anything else, then it would delete itself. But as long as it has a reference, I don't know. We're gonna have to figure that out. That is complicated and weird and unusual. It's not a typical scripting kind of issue, so we don't have really good things around it. So there's where we've created it, and now I want to delete it, right? And ideally, it's going to do a printout because we put that on there and all of these will be gone, but we know it won't. Okay, so basically now we've deleted it. When we open this up, like number 2 is gone and number 9 is gone and number 8 is gone, but number 1 is still there. So we want that. So now we know this. I feel like this is a good, I think this is a good spot. Um, okay, so, and this is still not a whole lot of code. So let's just go ahead and move forward. Well, let's do a, okay. I think we should move forward with the types. At least get one done, um, and see how that goes. So basically what I want to do is go to my interfaces and we want to go to the ST, and within the ST we have our 3 and our renderer. So our renderer is our very top interface, right? Our renderer has a camera and it has that. And so we want to add our type. And there's only one legal type in this, and that is renderer. And I guess we want to call it an ST renderer. Now this should break things. And it might even, and it will likely break unit tests too. So type. And I don't know about putting the space there. I'm just trying that out, see if there's some sort of bad thing that happens. Okay, so now let's see. It compiles, but I don't think it checked our unit tests. So, and I'm pretty sure we make some ST renderers in our unit tests. So let's go ahead and do that because boy, that sure did save a lot of time last time. Okay. Okay, so we do know, I think we want ST renderer. Okay, how do we usually do it? We'll do colon space ST renderer. Okay, and okay, so this is colon, so it should be very obvious. Okay, so here's one. No, that is not one. There's one, ST renderer. And then this actually uses the system, so we aren't mocking renderers. What I was worried about is I would have mocked some renderers somewhere, but it looks like I always use the code to generate the renderers. So that probably won't even break the unit tests. And then Cypress, I don't think we're doing anything. This doesn't affect Cypress at all. So let's see what we get in our add one. And we'll open this up. Type ST render. See, that's nice. Yeah. So, man, that was super simple. I think that is good for today, though. I think tomorrow I want to finish up, or tomorrow I'm not doing a video because I'm going into my job. Um, and then, but Tuesday, get back to doing that. So what I want to put myself in a place where I'm going to be able to remember, though. So, try to set myself up for success in the next one. Okay, I'm tired of just randomly trying stuff, so let's go to the interfaces. We're definitely doing more than I think we should. Definitely breaking the rule here because, we had like 3 things, but this is what we're doing next. Um, And then once this type is in, then we can do commit push. I don't think there's any unit test issues or any Cypress issues, so that'll probably be a super commit. And then once we have all the types for all the three, and then I think the next thing will be to properly delete, go through the process of properly deleting everything. And I do think like the UI service says this is where the intelligence of saying, hey, when you delete a renderer, you need to check the scene. We need to delete the scene. And then we need to delete the camera. And then there'll probably be a function called delete scene and delete camera. And then camera can just delete the camera and it can determine whether um, and we'll have to come up with some sort of scheme so it knows. Because on the ST side, I definitely might have more than one camera that is like one more than one scene that uses the exact same camera. Um, so, anyways, yeah, we'll have to work through that. I definitely cannot quite get abstract enough in my mind um, to to figure out exactly how to architect that at the moment. But um, for now, adding all the types will be really, really helpful because then down the road when we're doing our deletes, like, because when we do this delete this time, right, at this point, when we delete, we should have nothing in here, but we still have eight, or it looks like five things still. And so this st renderer, we know, oh, okay, this st renderer needs to delete itself, but it should delete all its children before it deletes itself. And it's kind of wild because I guess, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. It is weird that we didn't start at the top. So, like when I do an add, here, let's refresh. We do an add here. So somehow the camera gets deleted, which is probably fine, right? All we did was say well, delete renderer, and somehow that ended up with the camera getting deleted. So that was probably wrong. Whatever I did to make the camera get deleted was probably not done in the right place. But I don't know. Maybe I came up with something clever over there. So delete renderer comes here. Oh, it says see delete camera by ID. We probably do not want to do that here. The renderer service, I don't think should know anything about cameras. Maybe it should. I don't know. It is kind of wild though that the camera does get deleted from the system, from the UI. Oh, oh, so the camera must recycle. If I okay, so delete camera by ID. Let's go in there. Go to definition. Now see how it recycles its ID. That's why it's gone. So first thing is it deletes itself. And so the internal argument I'm having with myself right now is like, should the renderer, the ST renderer, be like, hey, yeah, I have a camera. Go ahead and delete it. That makes sense. I think there's solid logical sense that the camera should know what it has, that the renderer knows what it has and knows what to delete. That's where that intelligence lies. But it also makes sense that the UI system service would be like, look, render, you worry about yourself. I'll worry about other things. And then should the camera be aware if it's part of, if it's already being used by something else, or should it even care, right? Because, yeah, see, I haven't really worked that out yet. Um, the camera has no way of knowing that it's part of multiple renderers. Okay, and this is the renderer service. And so it's like the render service probably should have a function in it that says, hey, do you have, see, the render service has more than one renderer in it, right? There's a dictionary, a renderer dictionary. But what it should also have is for a renderer. So something needs to know that for this camera exists in multiple renderers. So don't actually delete the camera. Just delete whatever reference I have to the multiple renderers. Yeah, that is like, yeah, that's sweet. I keep see I'm going right back into that thing, but the thing is, it's all abstract now, right? It's fully abstract. There's no, we don't have any concrete implementation to actually sort of frame, anchor ourselves into right now. So I think I want to punt and deal with that when we actually have like actual, like we're on the verge of actually having actual, well, actually we can't, because we can't right now, we do not aren't capable of adding the same camera to two different renderers. And we are probably literally months and months and months, maybe even a year away from being able to do that. So like trying to figure that out right now is going to be damn near impossible. And even if we do figure something out, it's probably going to be not the best way to do it when the time comes. But when the time comes, it's going to be so complicated, and we're going to probably have to do a refactor and unwind things. Um, and yeah, I don't know what else to do about that. But anyways, so that's where we're at. Tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, we'll um, add types to all the different kinds, and then once the types are in there, then delete. Then it's time to actually start deleting with the basic assumption that it's a one-to-one, but knowing that I don't want to completely paint myself in a corner. So happy coding, everybody. Bye.